In this video, I will showcase Alireza Firouzja, a rising star originally from Iran, super strong, 27 plus rated player, and he does play 1e4 a lot. And he has a lot of tricks and traps he sets up in the opening. So I will show games with c5, but also e5, and even one game with d5. So first, the Sicilian Defense, very popular. And here we have a dragon. So Sicilian dragon, bishop c4 is main theory, bishop d7 play. And here, first surprise, the most natural move is long castle and attacking. Alireza played bishop g3. So black takes here and play b5, which is a theory. Black is actually a grandmaster playing in this game against Alireza. And here, h5. So it's a bit surprising because sometimes you may think that in the textbooks and chess classic courses, you castle first, then launch the attack. But Alireza goes for h4. And here black didn't want to face h5, so play h5 himself. Now, the main theory would be to play a5, and if you attack here, black attacks on the other side, bishop d5. And this is actually a very complex position to play. But here, h5 play. What does Alireza do? Once again, I would think long castle and maybe rook g1 and g4. But here, Alireza goes for g4 right away. And here, the only good move for black was to do a5 and reaching the previous variation. Instead, black took here and Alireza pushed on h5. This is already super dangerous. So now, let's look at the variation. If you take with the pawn, you simply eliminate the defender and then play queen h2 and you checkmating on the h5. That's not possible. So if you take with the knight, now you take on g7, and black cannot take with a knight because you will do queen h6, and this is checkmate the next move. But however, you could play king takes, and here you have the classic sack, take here, check, 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 and simply here you do castle finally, and rook h1 is a threat and it's impossible to defend. So clearly here, taking that pawn on h5 is not possible or losing very quickly. So black decided to counterattack and play e5. And here, can you find the winning move found by white? Firouzja here play h6 and black resign. So let's take a look. If you just go back, you do check. Clearly, king g7 over here would be made by queen h6, checkmate in one move. And if you take with the knight, simply queen h6, and you can see that this is a winning combination here, and black would resign. So on h6, the only move maybe that black had in mind was to take on d4. But here you take on g7, and once again, if black ignores, you do queen h6. And if black were to take on g7, you finish with queen h6. So you can see here that white is winning, and there was a very strong, opening tricks by tricking the opponent with a different move order over here. Now, let's see the next game. In the next game, also a Sicilian, black played g6 right away. So interestingly here, Alireza is willing to give up a pawn to have more activity and play an attacking game. But black said, no, thank you. And they played this position. So once again, if you follow, classic chess theory or the classic books about chess, you would just castle and then probably play knight d2, rook e1, maybe a4, and that would be a classic game. But here Firouzja says, no, let me just do h4 right away. Now black played knight c6. The reason that black didn't play knight f6 is like you can still chase the knight right away here. And after the knight move, you can do queen e2, or you could even do queen a4, giving up a pawn. So anyway, here instead of playing knight f6, knight c6 played. Alireza goes for h5. Now, black could potentially take this pawn, but here you're not in a hurry to take back with the rooks. You can simply develop. Let's play a few moves. Queen e2. And now you do knight d4, and eventually you have some threats over here. can develop the bishop, and you will take on h5. You can see that the structure from black is not great here. So white has a better space and better chances over here. So instead of ruining the pawn structure by playing this move, black developed another piece, right? And here, h6, very strong, the bishop retreats, e5 chasing the knight, queen e2, queen e7. Now black is hoping to win that pawn, but white plays bishop f4 and controls e5. So here the best move was to continue with f6. Why f6? Because if you were to take, then you would drop a bishop. So here most likely the best move is knight e3, and you're willing to give up a pawn. You're gonna castle long, and you can see that black is still underdeveloped. That would be the idea. But here black play f5, and this is much worse. Let's see the move, knight a3, a6, to prevent knight b5. And here, what is the killer move that Alireza Firouzja found with white? He played knight c4. Same idea, and he wants to come to d6 and check. If you take again, and you will lose the queen. So that's a very, very strong threat. The best move was e6. You still come here, and let's say after queen comes here, you play castle. Look at this position. Black is underdeveloped. You have a super strong d6 pawn. Your rooks can come in the game. You can of course play knight g5. You have so many options for white. You're definitely much, much, much better. So here, what else can you do? Knight d6 is a threat, right? So if you're trying to be clever and play king d8 to avoid the check, right? Knight g5, and the other knight is coming, and this is game over. So in this position, black played queen d8 because that was preventing losing the queen. White sacked the knight, beautiful style. And here simply bishop g5. So black castle in the end, that was too late. And you can see white is up an extra piece. And after queen b6 check, you have, if you move the king, you're gonna have bishop taking the rook, rook f7 played, and here knight g5. Not only you're a piece up with white, but you have a winning attack here, and black resign. So this was how Firouzja tackles the Sicilian. Now let's see his style against 1 e4, e5. This is a very interesting game because black is played by Jan Nepomniachtchi, the official challenger for the World Championship. So the game developed quickly, and here long castle. And clearly Firouzja loves tactics and is ready to launch the attack against the king. So here the computer would say the best move would be rook e8. But instead, black tried to exchange pieces. So this is very strong, knight g5, looking at h7, looking at this bishop. f4, so clearly the plan is to go f5. So here black made room for the bishop. And here, what do you play with white? e5, right away. So now clearly by doing this, you're attacking h7, and clearly you have the better chances. So black took on d3, taking here. And here, what do we do with black? Well, in the game, d e5 was taken, and this is the losing mistake. The best move was probably knight b4, but rook g3, and you can see that the attack is very strong for white. Now on d e5, this was losing right away. Can you see why? Firouzja is so strong and set up so many traps, and here the trap was queen e4, and you're threatening checkmate, but you're also threatening the knight. It's double attack. The game continued, but of course white is a piece up, and the game wrapped up fairly quickly. Here check, the king came here, and knight g5, and on rook e7, you have the nice checkmate here, and you're checkmating on f7, and you don't have enough counterplay here. So essentially, you are lost here because on queen f1, you would do rook d1, and you're winning. So that was a very short one, but interesting win. In this last game, black tried Scandinavian and tried to go outside the main theory. Queen d6 is unusual, so the game continued. And black is played by Russian Grandmaster Fedoseev, a super strong Russian GM. And here the game continued and d3, typically d4 is played here, and then you can play bishop somewhere, and queen e2. But d3, that's already setting up something a bit odd. Knight g5 attacking f7 right away. So e6 played, queen f3. So you can see that that's slightly unusual. And here black had to play queen e5, attacking the king or giving a check. And here you have several moves. You can try to play bishop e3, and you still have a game. But instead, knight bd7 played. I think black wanted to do h6, and if the knight retreats, then play long castle. That was the plan. Unfortunately here, there's a crushing move by white. Taking here. The king takes, queen f5. And here if you try to chase the bishop b3, and this will be completely winning for white, let's say after this. Clearly the king here is in trouble. So instead here, black played knight e5, trying to gain the bishop. And here calmly, bishop b3, you're maintaining the pin. That's why you cannot take the queen. And this queen is very annoying. So black said, let me chase the queen. So the queen moved here. And here black said, well, I really need, again, you cannot play on d3 because this is protected. So you will simply take back and you don't win the queen. So since you cannot win the queen, what to do with black? And h5 was the idea by Fedoseev. His idea was to play bishop h6 and attacking the queen. But here, you don't have time for that. And a simple move, knight e4 wins. Not only you're attacking here, but you're also attacking this knight. So the queen here is attacked and can only defend this knight or this one, but white is winning. 13 moves and another trap and a quick, super fast win by Firouzja. I hope you enjoyed this video.